This gentleman was standing in front of the library with his granddaughter when he became a hero by preventing the escape of an armed suspect. Amazingly, he was not the only civilian to perform an act of bravery, as for example Miguel Hernandez, who got out of his own pickup truck and threw himself on top of another fugitive. On the 13th of July of 2023, around 11:30 in the morning, Josh Metcalf, a police officer from the Tulsa Department, a city in the state of Oklahoma in the United States, came across a couple in the downtown area while on duty. When he approached them, the man, Miguel Hernandez, initially gave a false name to the officer. Josh Metcalf was about to deepen the investigation when Miguel Hernandez began fleeing on foot. This is the officer's body camera video.
Right.
Shortly after the officer asked Miguel Hernandez to sit down so he could question him, Hernandez decided to run. While Josh Metcalf chased him, Ty Clem, a civilian who was passing by on the avenue during the stop, pulled over his pickup truck, got out, and jumped on top of Hernandez on the sidewalk. The officer, who was only a few steps away from reaching the fugitive, managed to subdue him thanks to Clem's help. On a busy highway in Santa Ana, California, a highway patrol officer of the United States was trying to warn a citizen not to walk in the middle of the roadway. He was attempting to calm him, but the citizen turned aggressive. Suddenly, he attacked the officer. The entire confrontation was captured by the cell phone of a driver who was passing along an avenue that crosses the interstate highway at around 5 in the afternoon on the 19th of May of 2023. Everardo Navarro, another driver who was on the highway at that moment, noticed the confrontation. Instead of continuing his journey, he got out of his car to help the officer fight off his attacker. He feared the pedestrian could reach the officer's weapon and cause a fatality. Thanks to his courage, other bystanders joined in the struggle, finally giving the officer a chance to immobilize his attacker. He was taken to the emergency room with superficial injuries and from there, taken to the station where he was formally charged with assaulting an officer. On the 25th of January of 2022, Devin, a former track athlete and former security guard, was returning from work when he witnessed a police chase in northwest Harris County. The suspect, who was in a stolen pickup truck, was spotted by the police on a busy avenue but fled on foot across several private properties in an industrial neighborhood. To the surprise of the officers and the fugitive himself, Devin, seeing the suspect escaping about 50 meters ahead of the police, sped up in his own car, trying to block the path. He got out of the vehicle and began to run to help capture the suspect, who even lost his shoes during the escape. Devin grabbed the suspect from behind, holding him tightly so he could not get away. It was a risky move because the suspect could have been armed. Fortunately, the fugitive surrendered and the officers managed to catch up to arrest him. On Saturday, the 10th of September of 2022, the American officer Stacy Wright stopped a driver, later identified as 64-year-old David Kubek, for speeding on a highway in Willoughby, Ohio, shortly before 4:25 in the afternoon. When Kubek stopped, he got out of the car without being asked. Wright questioned him, but Kubek said he was just getting his driver's license. Wright then told him to sit, but Kubek refused, becoming aggressive, to the point of pointing his finger close to the officer's face and pushing her. Kubek continued to disobey her orders until the stop turned into a physical confrontation.
Have a seat.
I'm not sitting. I'm not sitting!
Back off! Back up!
I'm not sitting!
Put your hands behind your back.
4 civilians passing by stopped when they noticed the fight on the road and helped restrain Kubek until more Willoughby officers arrived. Kubek was arrested and charged with assaulting an officer, resisting arrest, and speeding. The police stated he was driving about 56 miles an hour in a zone where the limit was 35 miles an hour. An act of bravery was recorded in a supermarket parking lot in Provo, Utah, when 2 civilians helped an officer detain an aggressive man who tried to disarm him. The suspect, 34-year-old Emiliano Medina, was charged with 1 felony and 5 misdemeanors. These are images from the officer's body camera at the scene.
Hey, don't touch it. Dude, come here. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Step it up. Thanks, guys.
The police were called to the area to check on a man wandering through the parking lot asking people for water. When the officer approached Medina, the suspect pointed toward the officer's weapon, made a gun gesture with his hand, then pointed at his own head, and afterward tried to grab the officer's gun, which started a fight. During the struggle, Medina struck the officer and managed to escape. However, some onlookers who were watching decided to intervene. One of the civilians managed to stop Medina, while another grabbed him from behind in a chokehold and took him down to the ground. The officer then took the opportunity to handcuff Medina and waited for backup to arrive. After being arrested, Medina was taken to a hospital, where blood tests showed that he had ingested substances and displayed signs of delirium. Medina was charged with attempting to disarm an officer, assaulting a public servant, resisting arrest, disobeying police commands, and possession or use of illicit substances. On the 3rd of August of 2023, 39-year-old Stephen G. Jimenez led the New Mexico State Police on a dangerous chase in Santa Fe after supposedly taking possession of a vehicle during a verbal argument. Although Jimenez was the registered owner of the car, it was initially reported as stolen by a woman who was involved in the argument with him. The chase involved several of Jimenez's aggressive maneuvers, such as driving on the wrong side of the road, forcing other vehicles off the road, ramming into the patrol car that was pursuing him, using a tire iron as a weapon, and even attempting to run over an innocent cyclist at the roadside. Perhaps the worst aspect of this case was that the officer who was inside the patrol car being rammed by Jimenez was pregnant. The pursuit ended when Jimenez's vehicle got stuck on the shoulder. As he tried to flee on foot, he was intercepted by a civilian who, acting quickly, helped the officer restrain the suspect. At that moment, Jimenez still tried to steal the civilian's vehicle and resisted arrest fiercely, even trying to bite the officer and reach the officer's weapon. Jimenez faced 9 charges, including aggravated assault on an officer, attempted vehicle theft, and reckless driving. Despite his history of violating parole conditions, such as removing an ankle monitor and a past case of driving while intoxicated, he received a $10,000 bail and was placed under house arrest with a new electronic ankle monitor. In the city of Columbus, in the American state of Ohio, a 70-year-old man known only as Bill showed courage and composure by helping the police catch an armed suspect. On the 3rd of April of 2018, Bill was waiting for his granddaughter outside a library when he heard police sirens and noticed a young man running toward him with one hand at his waist. Right afterward, he heard the officers ordering the young man to drop the weapon. Bill sized up the situation quickly, even though he was using a cane. Noticing that the suspect was ahead of the officers and about to escape, he acted without hesitation. As the young man passed him, Bill stuck out his leg to trip him. The man took a spectacular tumble, staying down long enough for the officers to catch up. During the search, the officers found a 9mm Glock pistol with a high-capacity magazine containing 29 rounds of ammunition. The suspect, who was only 18 years old and already had a lengthy criminal record, was taken to the Franklin County Jail. No one was hurt in the action. Local police showered Bill with praise, thanking him for his courageous act and saying his intervention was crucial, likely preventing the situation from becoming even more dangerous. According to Bill, he only did what he considered his responsibility as a citizen. In the American city of White Settlement, Texas, a civilian became the hero of a police chase. The incident took place on the 18th of June of 2022 and was recorded by the body camera of the officer involved. Police officers had received an alert about a stolen vehicle in the area. When they attempted to stop the car, the suspect, identified as Joshua Taylor Brown, ran off in an effort to escape. Because of the heat that day and the weight of the gear he was carrying, one of the officers, Corporal J. Porter, had trouble keeping up with the fugitive. That was when a Good Samaritan, a civilian named Jimmy Davis, a former security guard, realized what was happening and decided to step in.
What's up? Yeah.
Davis offered the officer a ride in his car. Corporal Porter quickly agreed, and after giving a few directions, climbed into the vehicle, which helped him quickly reach the location where the suspect was being detained by Officer Samuel Brown. The suspect was arrested and faced serious charges, including evading arrest and unauthorized use of a vehicle. Thanks to a swift citizen intervention, another criminal was taken off the streets and the community felt safer. In York County, Pennsylvania, 4 civilians teamed up to help the police arrest a suspect. The incident happened on the 15th of June of 2022 at a liquor store on Locks Road in Manchester Township. A liquor store reported a theft to the emergency services. When the police arrived, one of the officers spotted the suspect, Marlo Harvard Jr., attempting to flee in his car. The officer managed to stop the vehicle and asked Harvard to get out. However, the suspect resisted and tried to run away on foot. Even with the arrival of another officer, the suspect showed no signs of giving up. That was when 4 brave citizens decided to step in. They quickly joined the officers, helping to pin Harvard down until he could be handcuffed. The civilian's act of bravery was caught on the patrol car camera. The Northern York County Police Department publicly thanked them for their valuable assistance. Marlo Harvard Jr. was formally charged with multiple offenses, including resisting arrest and possession of illegal substances. Thanks to these fearless citizens, he received the justice he deserved. Tyler Morrell, an employee of Caco's Pizza, was only supposed to deliver a pizza his customer had ordered, but he did much more than that by helping the police capture a suspect in Middletown Township, Pennsylvania. On the 16th of April of 2023, Morrell was making a delivery when he saw a car traveling at high speed lose control and stop on the lawn of a residence across the street from his customer's house. The driver, a 17-year-old, got out of the car and began to run. Holding the pizza box with his hands, Morrell used what he had at his disposal, his foot. When the suspect came close, he extended his leg and made the young man trip and fall, giving officers time to catch up and make the arrest. Morrell's quick action was captured by his customer's home security camera and went viral on social media. Despite the scare, the pizza arrived intact to the customer, who praised the delivery man. The Brookhaven police publicly thanked Morrell for his timely trip, saying that his action helped ensure a safe arrest. Do not forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.